welcome to Daily Spiritual Thought, and today's title is An Expression of Forgetfulness. If you don't want to miss the daily reminder to keep realigning yourself, click the subscribe button and feel free to leave a like. Let's talk today about spirituality. Spirituality that also wants to be lived. When we do that, living from our hearts, the world can heal. But the reality is still the opposite. There is deceit and fraud everywhere, abuse, injustice, and poverty. How is this possible when the majority of people have knowledge of spirituality, claim to be spiritual, to be believers? If the current situation in our world is the expression of spirituality and faith, then something is wrong. And so it is. What we see on the outside is an expression of forgetting our inner connection to creation. Indeed, there are billions of people who call themselves believers, and it does not matter which faith they belong to. We are all here to express ourselves. How often do we hear that something terrible happens, and why does God allow it? This statement alone is an expression of forgetfulness. The question is, who is God? And have we disconnected ourselves from God? Or are we all an expression of creation and just taking it easy by waiting for a rescuer or savior on the divine level? But that is precisely what billions of believers do. They continue to act as before and wait for a divine intervention that will then set everything right again. It goes so far that some deliberately commit wrong actions to do them as peccadillos. But if we were aware of our spirituality, it would be clear that everything follows the law of cause and effect. Often the evil or the sin is accused, but we as humankind collectively determine the events. And yes, there are very dark and evil entities in our world, but the tables are already turning in our favor. How could it be that the minority did evil and the majority looked the other way instead of thwarting it? Because we have forgotten who we really are. This non-action is a disease of the mind which will only be cured when we are aware again that we are part of creation. We have come here to experience ourselves, awaken, if we are not yet, and put the rudder around. Yes, we are sailing in uncharted waters at the moment. But the more consciously we perceive what is happening, without being distracted or deceived by listening to our feelings, the sooner we will reach familiar waters again, which will be alien to our ego, but very familiar to our souls. The expression of forgetfulness has brought us socially to where we are today. So we should begin to remember why we came here and live true spirituality and faith. Faith in ourselves as individuals and as humanity. Then we are sure of God's support, but we have to act instead of bobbing around on the sofa. So, let's go guys! For now, this is Andreas from Daily Spiritual Thought. Despite all the forgetfulness we've to overcome, have a wonderful time. Thanks a lot for listening and God bless.